There was a prophet whose death brought the greatest punishment upon the Jews, a prophet whom Allah called his own spirit in the Qur'an, and in whose name the world's biggest religion was established. A prophet who was given miracles no other prophet received. A prophet who was taken up to the heavens and will be sent back to this world at a special time. His name was Prophet Isa, Jesus, peace be upon him. But how did this man, who came to teach people about the oneness of God, end up being worshipped as God himself? And how was the Bible changed? Let's find out. When the condition of the children of Israel became very bad, they were wrong. Their scholars had become corrupt. They changed the scriptures and were selling the faith for worldly gains. They had altered the whole religion to suit themselves. On top of that, at that time, the Roman Empire ruled over Palestine and was very cruel to the Jews. They imposed heavy taxes on them. Their situation was really bad. But their books mentioned the coming of a Messiah who would free them from this oppression. So the Jews started waiting for this Messiah. They believed their Messiah would come as a powerful king or a warrior, but the opposite happened. One day, the angel Gabriel came to the home of a pure-hearted woman, appearing as a beautiful man. This woman's name was Sayyida Maryam, peace be upon her, who was raised by Hazrat Zachariah, peace be upon him. Gabriel told her that Allah would bless her with a great son without her getting married. Sayyida Maryam was very shocked and then went away to a secluded place, away from people. Whenever she felt intense pain, she would go to a date palm tree and say, "I wish I could die before this happens." But then a voice from the unseen called out, "Don't be sad." And then a stream of water suddenly burst out from beneath her, and when she shook the tree, fresh dates fell, which gave her strength. After all this, one day, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was born. Lady Mary took him back to the town to be with the people. But as soon as they saw her holding the baby, they started accusing her badly, and everyone began shouting at her. Seeing this, Lady Mary got upset. Then by Allah's miracle, the baby spoke while still in her arms. Hearing this, everyone there fell silent. Their faces showed shock and worry, which proved Sayyida Maryam's pure chastity. After that, Sayyida Maryam raised Hazrat Isa, Jesus, peace be upon him. From childhood, he was a kind and humble person. He ate little, wore simple clothes, and spent most of his time in worship. He used to make clay birds and, with Allah's help, bring them to life. He had so much knowledge that by the age of just 12, he would have debates with the top teachers of his time that would leave them amazed. Allah had granted him many miracles. When Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, grew up a bit, he started spreading Allah's message to the people. He taught them about monotheism and followed the laws given by Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, which had been changed by the priests. He encouraged people to be kind to one another. Whenever people doubted his prophethood, he showed them miracles. With Allah's help, he healed the blind and the deaf, and even brought the dead back to life. He made birds out of clay, breathed life into them, and they would fly. He even told people things that they were showing off what they had eaten and all the stuff they'd hoarded at home. At one point, some people told them, "If you're really truthful, then ask the sky to send us food." Right then, Allah sent down a magnificent feast from the sky and warned them that if they still turned away from the truth, they would face severe punishment. But when the priest at that time saw all this, he realized that his true nature would be exposed to everyone. The wealth he had gathered by fooling people was now in danger. Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, exposed their corruption, and he started exposing the hypocrites in front of everyone. Besides all this, people at that time were deeply involved in sins and worldly pleasures. Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, was telling them to leave all that behind, but they chose the world over the truth and didn't listen to him. Even after witnessing all the miracles of Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, people kept demanding more miracles from him. Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, got really angry with them because even after all these signs, their hearts wouldn't accept the truth. That's because the Jews believed that this Messiah will come as a powerful king leading a big army to save them. Praise. Meanwhile, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was just an ordinary guy like them. In fact, he lived an even simpler life. At that time, Palestine was under the Roman Empire. When the Roman emperor saw that this man was influencing people and they were following him, it became a big threat to their rule. Taking advantage of this, some Jewish priests went to the Roman Empire and stirred them up against Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, saying, "This man wants to be king, he wants to become something, and that's why he's doing all this." After that, the priests teamed up with the Roman king and planned to kill Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Meanwhile, Prophet Jesus was having a meal with his companions. At that moment, he told them that one of you will betray me, and that's exactly what happened. One of them, for some money, led the soldiers to their garden. It was at this point that Allah raised Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, up to the heavens and put someone who looked just like him in front of them. Many scholars say this about that event. The thing is, this was the same guy who betrayed Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Some say he was actually one of Jesus's companions, and Allah promised him paradise as a reward for his patience. But despite all that, the Jews brutally tortured him. They dragged him, wounded, through the market, insulted him, and put a wooden cross on his back. Then they nailed his hands and feet to the cross and killed him. After that, the sky turned dark and a terrible earthquake struck. This was a sign for the people to come. It's interesting. But Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was taken up to the heavens for a specific time. Now he is going to come back to face the Dajjal, and we've made a proper video about that. After his death, his companions started discussing among themselves. Some of his followers believed that Allah had taken Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, up to the heavens, while others thought he had died. Some said he would return. This is how stories about Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, began to spread. One group considered him a prophet of Allah, while one group considered them martyrs. Another group believed they were the son of Allah. By that time, the Bible hadn't yet come together as a single book. People remembered the teachings of Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, by word of mouth. And the Qur'an was revealed in the same way. It was only many years after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, passing, that the Qur'an was compiled into a book. The key difference between the Qur'an and the Bible was that Allah himself took responsibility for protecting the Qur'an, which wasn't the case with the Bible. Because of this, people ended up changing the Bible. Around 70 AD, there was this guy who hated the followers of Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, so much that he used to torture them and throw them in jail. His name was Saul of Tarsus. For a long time, he kept torturing Jesus' followers because they worshipped only one God, Allah, and refused to worship those fake Roman gods. Because of this, the followers of Jesus faced a lot of oppression, but then one day Saul claimed that he had seen Prophet Jesus in a dream, even though he had been. In his life, he had never actually met Jesus. After that, he changed his name to Paul the Apostle. He started telling people that Jesus wasn't a prophet, but the Son of God. He got this idea from the Greeks and Romans, who had stories about
gods having sons, like Hercules. Using these ideas, he created a whole new kind of Christianity that people at the time began to accept, because they were already familiar with these Greek and Roman concepts. So this new type of Christianity felt relatable to them. Islamic type.
That Jesus gave his life as a sacrifice to forgive humanity's sins. We don't really need to follow
all his methods. What matters is accepting his sacrifice. Basically, this man changed Christianity itself. He sent letters to different churches and got his ideas added into the Bible. which later became part of the New Testament. But in Jerusalem, some of Jesus' followers rejected Paul's ideas and saw Jesus as just a prophet of God. Among these people was even Jesus' own brother. But people didn't pay attention to these things, and they started accepting Paul's new version of Christianity, which became popular. By this time, the Bible had taken the form of a book, written 40 to 80 years after the death of Jesus, peace be upon him, and it had 4 Gospels: Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. These 4 Gospels had different stories about Jesus, peace be upon him, and many things were written that Jesus never actually said. Miracles like bringing the dead back to life and putting spirit into birds started being used as proof that Jesus was the Son of God. But these miracles were actually gifts from Allah. At that time, there were also several old Gospels around, like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Barnabas, and the Gospel of Hebrews. In those, Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was described just as a prophet. However, church leaders rejected these Gospels and didn't accept them as true. That's right. But back then, none of the Christians believed that Jesus was the Son of God. In the 4th century, Constantine the Great became the ruler of the Roman Empire. At that time, the entire empire was divided because of politics, wars, and religion. So, to unite his empire, he gave people the freedom to openly follow their own religion. This was the first time Christianity became a religion that people could freely practice. Before this, Christians were persecuted and their religion was opposed. At that time, there were 2 sects of Christianity, one that considered Jesus, Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, a prophet, and the other, they used to believe he was the Son of God. But then a man named Arius from that same group stood up and started saying that Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, was a messenger of God, not his son. A lot of people supported what he said.
However, the church leaders at the time strongly opposed this, as they believed Jesus was the Son of God.
This caused conflicts all over the empire, and people began opposing each other. When Constantine found out, he decided to resolve the issue immediately because he wanted religion to be a way to unite people. Freedom was given, but then even more issues started cropping up. So Constantine called a big council where over 300 priests showed up. They had a meeting among themselves. But in that meeting, the people rejected Arius's idea and declared Jesus Christ as the Son of God. After that, anyone who didn't accept Jesus as God, as his Son, had their Bibles burned and were killed. Because of this, only one form of Christianity was established throughout the entire empire. That's the one where Jesus is. They called him the Son of God to avoid any disagreements among people. By that time, there were many versions of the Bible, and people read these different versions. But the church wanted just one Bible. So the church council selected 27 different versions of the Bible that referred to Jesus, peace be upon him, as the Son of God, and burned all the other versions. That's why today only a few old versions of the Bible remain where Jesus, peace be upon him, is described as a prophet. Later, when the Bible was translated into Latin, that version became the one used by the Roman Catholic Church. It was officially declared, and that's how the Bible spread all over the world. Then, when the prophet, peace be upon him, announced his prophethood, and people started to realize that a prophet had come to Mecca, some Christian priests from the Nazarenes came to him. They debated with the prophet because they believed that Jesus, peace be upon him, was the Son of God, while the prophet, peace be upon him, considered him a prophet of Allah, not the Son. The prophet presented verses from the Qur'an in response, but they refused to believe. So Allah told the prophet, peace be upon him, to bring his family and stand with them in an open field to pray to Allah. Whoever was truthful, their prayer would be accepted, and whoever was lying would face Allah's punishment. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, brought Imam Ali, Sayyida Fatima, Imam Hassan, and Imam Hussein with him. But when the Christian priests saw them approaching from a distance, one of the priests said, "By God, I see faces that if you pray to Allah for them, He will move mountains for their sake. Don't argue with them, or else we'll be doomed." So out of fear, they made an agreement with the Prophet, peace be upon him. The Jews' biggest mistake was plotting to kill Hazrat Isa, Jesus, peace be upon him, because he was their last chance. Allah sent him to them plainly and openly so they would accept the truth. No other prophet was given such miracles, but instead of believing, they rejected him. Then Allah sent punishment upon them one after another. God sent down a punishment. When Allah raised Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, up to the heavens, after some time, the Jews started a rebellion against the Roman Empire because they wanted to rule themselves. The Jews defeated the Romans in Jerusalem and gained their freedom. When the Roman Emperor Nero heard this, he sent his son Titus with an army to Jerusalem. Titus laid siege to Jerusalem and captured the city. After that, the Romans destroyed the Jewish temple. This was something Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, had already predicted, which is still mentioned in the Bible today. When the temple was destroyed, one wall remained standing, and it's still there today. Jews kiss it. This is the Western Wall. It wasn't just the temple. The Romans killed over 1 million Jews. Thousands were taken as slaves, and eventually they were kicked out of Jerusalem. After that, the Jews scattered all over the world. At that time, the Jews were still under the Roman Empire. Then one day, the Roman Emperor Constantine accepted Christianity and made it the official religion of the Roman Empire. After that, the Romans started killing Jews because they thought of them as the killers of Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him. Because of this, Jews and Christians became enemies, and this hostility lasted for centuries. The Jews kept facing oppression. Then in the 15th century, the Catholic Church became the biggest church in all of Europe, and Christianity spread throughout the continent. Because of this, Jews were expelled from countries like Spain, England, France, and Germany. They were forced to convert to Christianity, and those who refused were killed. They were also denied important jobs. Caste groups and these people were treated very badly. This went on for almost 1,000 years. Then World War II happened, during which the Nazis killed millions of Jews and they faced terrible oppression. Seeing all this, Christians began to feel sympathy for the Jews and started raising their voices in support of them in their churches. They began educating people. According to their beliefs, the coming of Jesus Christ, Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, depends on the Jews building their third temple in Jerusalem. According to their beliefs, the coming of Jesus Christ, Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, depends on the Jews building their third temple in Jerusalem, because there, scriptures say that Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, will return to this world only after the third temple is built. They came. The distance between Jews and Christians started to shrink from here. Christians also began supporting the idea of creating a separate country for the Jews, and with the help of these Christians, Israel was eventually established. Today, Christians play a big role in all the Jewish conspiracies. On the Day of Judgment, Allah will ask Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, "Did you tell people that you and your mother are gods besides Allah?" Then Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, will reply, "O Allah, I never said that. If I had said it, you would know. I was there when all this happened. I saw it with my own eyes. Now it's up to you to be the witness. The choice is yours. Either forgive them or punish them."